Hey everybody, my name's Mookie from 88.5 The SoCal Sound and the SoCalSound.org. We're in the studio doing another SoCal Sound session. So we're going to get immediately into the music and then we'll have a chit chat with the band Floor. We're very excited about it today, but please know we're listener-supported public radio. If you haven't joined us, you could join us at any time and become a subscribing member at the SoCalSound.org. Here's Floor with a great live version of the song Kick It on the SoCal Sound.
You're putting out slack. Ain't gonna take nobody's backlash. You're just a wannabe. Say what you want to me, I'll kick it right back. I'll kick it right back. You're being honest, they can't take it. Someone beat them to the top. Now the animals are clawing, sinking their nails as they're falling. No, there's no way they can get back in his face. Can't keep up with your breakneck pace. You got it cut around, they're giving you bad faith. You ain't the one who's gonna do me like that. Million to one says that you're putting out slack. Ain't gonna take nobody's backlash. You're just a wannabe. Say what you want to me, I'll kick it right back. All the eyes, they're stuck on your shimmering light, drawn to the pulse of your life. Every breath that you breathe is a compass pointing to everything right. You set the course that you like. They're on the handbook, but those rails mean nothing to someone who opens their own damn eyes. You ain't the one who's gonna do me like that. Million to one says that you're putting out slack. Ain't gonna take nobody's backlash. You're just a wannabe. Say what you want to me, I'll kick it right back. I'll kick it right back.
All right, that was a great live version of the song Kick It. Our fans, our members, our listeners are probably familiar with that song. We've been playing it on the air for a couple of weeks now.
Amazing.
Thank you. Also, recent songs like Same Color as the Sun, our listeners might be familiar with. But this is the band Floor. Welcome to our studio, everybody.
Thanks
so
much for having us.
You are, recent Southern California locals now?
Well, we've called ourselves recent Southern California locals, but it's because we were hesitant to really assume the title. We've actually been down here for like 10 years at this point.
Yeah.
But there was so much time there where I was going back and forth between Oregon, and I was like, I'm still an Oregonian.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, we're just Californians at this point.
So you all moved together from Oregon and the music was a big decision?
It was, yeah. I think Dylan kind of pressed for it the most. He had a pretty good opportunity to work with his favorite producer down here, and he was like, if we want to do this band thing, we need to treat it like like we actually want to do it. And you can't do that in a little town of 6,000 people. As much as you might believe you're the biggest stuff in town, it's because no one else is doing it. So yeah, we had to get down to LA, where literally everyone is doing it, and really try and push ourselves. But it was all for the music.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's other challenges, right? Sounds like you outgrew the hometown, but now you're here in this massive, massive city of Los Angeles. Yeah. New challenges. Again, we got Zach and Kyle and Dylan from the band. Where can people find you online? I've been seeing at Floor Sounds. Yeah. Is floorsounds.com the website?
Floorsounds.com is definitely the website. Floor Sounds on YouTube as well. Mm-hmm. We got lucky enough to secure the Just Floor handle for Instagram and
Twitter too.
I think we're supposed to say X. But Twitter and TikTok as well. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know how we did that because we had to fight for. It's literally the word flower in Spanish and Portuguese. Both of them. Yeah. So. Yeah, we got lucky there. But that's where you can find us. Apple Music, Spotify, Deezer, if you believe that that's a real thing.
Everywhere.
All the things.
And you guys manage your own socials, so how engaging are you with your beloved fans?
We try and get to everyone. To like the point where we will respond to every comment. Sometimes it's just an emoji if we have nothing else to say, Even
emoji goes a long way, interacting with people who like the music.
Yeah. I think it just reminds us too how much our music means to people, because after a while of scrolling and seeing everyone else also doing it, it's like people taking the time to comment on our stuff is special, and we want to engage.
It's really
with
great,
that.
And sometimes you don't hear from anybody. So to see some nice comments even on social media, I'm sure that really makes you guys feel good. It's almost like this job. It's a thankless job sometimes. You never know who's listening. Sometimes you never get feedback, until somebody comes along, hey, I love what you're doing, love the station. It makes you feel great.
Yeah, I mean, it's especially true because this last song we just put out, Tethered, we didn't play it today because we haven't really figured out a nice version that we could have gotten played here. But the response from all of our fans, and a lot of old returning fans that haven't checked in on us in a while, has been nuts. And the feedback for it just feels good. And I think it's because we've been cultivating this. We want to hear how this music makes you feel, kind of like ecosystem. And so, we're just going to keep doing that.
Love it. So the song we just got was "Kick It," and that's very new from the band Floor. Kind of a stripped down version in our studio today.
Yeah.
I think you said in a previous interview that particular song was about judgmental people or for judgmental people. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
So the song is basically, in my head, I was envisioning this Into the Spider-Verse world where this kind of ragtag kid gets these crazy powers, and in real life, it's more like this ragtag kid that just has incredible aura about them. Very cool, very interesting. But with that aura, you can always, you're going to drag eyes to you that might not appreciate it, whether it's out of jealousy, whether it's out of they think they can do something better. And in our case, it's just all I was trying to say was, you get those eyes on you, you're doing something right. Stay on your path. Don't listen to what anyone says. Keep going.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thanks for providing the background. on that track. You've also said that you lean towards writing about other people or other people's experiences. Is that right too?
I don't know if that's just a unwillingness to be vulnerable, or if it's just that I'm much more inspired by other people. I think that's what it is, really. Less that I'm not willing to express my feelings, but more that I'm just, my friends are the coolest people in the world, and I like writing about what they experience.
I think you also do a really good job of making it sound like it's coming from you too. And I think there's definitely a lot of truth to
it. And I'm definitely bending. There's truth to it, and I'm also bending their truth too. So every song is inspired by something, but taken so that I can put whatever twist or whatever I'm really trying to say at the heart of it.
Right. Well, the human experience is something that obviously we're all going through. So writing about somebody else's experience could mean a whole lot to so many people, because we're all, going through this together, very relatable, if you will, even if it's about somebody else.
Exactly. And other people, if I am willing to take from other people, I'm essentially I'm not really experiencing their experience, but I kind of am, you know? I'm getting myself in someone else's shoes. I'm experiencing the world in a way that Zach wouldn't experience it typically. I'm broadening my horizons.
Yeah, awesome. Again, we're here with the band Floor on 88.5 The SoCal Sound. Another SoCal Sound session. Let us get into Same Color as the Sun, if you don't mind. A great live version here in our studio. Can you give us a storyteller's sort of moment with this?
Yeah, Same Color as the Sun is one of the songs where I didn't really write about someone else. It was me. And I wanted to find, like, sometimes I struggle with the way to find and express how I'm feeling to someone. So I just wrote about that. I said, sometimes it's impossible to write what you're feeling, but does it make sense if I say that you are the sun to me, you know? Kind of using what tools I have to express how much something means to me.
Incredible. Let's get into it now. It's Floor on the SoCal Sound.
They say, blinded by looking, well, you see, all that I want is you next to me. Darkness or light would be fine. The more I let go, the more that I know that I would be better off blind and in love than alone. Come hang with you, baby. My sheets make me crazy. Wish you were never gone. The vacant space that you leave, it's so hard to please. It begs on its knees for ya. How did you get my world to spin again? I feel the wind again. I can't describe what you are to me, to anyone. Does it make sense if I say same color as the sun? So starry eyed, can't tell if I'm living inside of a tree. Hazy at the edges but clear in between. Focusing in on you, on you. And I come hang with you, baby. My sheets make me crazy. Wish you were never gone. The vacant space that you leave, it's so hard to please. It begs on its knees for ya. How did you get my world to spin again? I feel the wind again. I can't describe what you are to me, to anyone. Does it make sense if I say same color as the sun? Sun.
That's cool. Great live version of Same Color as the Sun. The band Floor is here in our studio for a SoCal Sound session. We touched on it a little bit. You guys started in Oregon. Has it been always this trio configuration?
No, we lost a member.
He didn't die. He didn't die. He's still around.
He's still around. He had a baby.
We keep in contact with him.
He had a baby, and it was time for him to go be a dad. So
Yeah.
we said, you should absolutely go do that.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much, then it was the four of us for a long time.
Yeah.
Since like what, 2012? 2012.
Yeah.
And then in 2022, it went down to the three of us, and here we are.
Incredible. So the band's really been putting out records since what? I want to say 2014. Does that sound about right?
2014.
Yeah.
EP.
2014 was the first song we put out on SoundCloud,
Mhm.
which I think was hard.
It was.
So yeah, it's been a decade.
Incredible.
Whoa.
And
Wow.
a lot of great content over the years, a lot of great music, and this
Thank
Choo
you.
Choo Train is still going.
Still going.
Right.
We still like making music, which is crazy. Like, I don't know if there's many things in my life that I've been like 10 years dedicated to something and still interested in it. But better than ever, I'd
Yeah.
say.
It just keeps getting
More
better.
creative than ever
Yeah.
Yeah.
and more expressive than ever.
The music feels really good now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're
Like-
doing what we want.
How'd you guys navigate through that pandemic?
Ooh, I would say that we didn't. I think that's the most honest and real answer we could give. We felt overwhelmed and we kind of shut things down a little bit, just because it didn't feel like our voice needed to be adding to the noise during that time. I think looking back on it, we wish we had.
Wish we had been a little more active.
Yeah.
But I mean, man, just if you go back to that time mentally, it's just like the world was falling apart, and there were some artists still trying to keep plugging away however they could. Which, I mean, that's great. But for us, it just didn't.
It didn't come naturally.
It didn't come naturally. And then we finally got together. Man, I don't even remember how long after it all went down, but we got together and we shot a little live at home performance.
Just to see if we still knew how to play music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
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 And that was kind of our first moment of being a band again from the pandemic, because we were on tour. We were on a tour that finished up. We got home like 2 days before every other artist in the country was recalled
Yeah.
and their tours were
It was
canceled.
March
Incredible.
12th.
It was
I
it was
think.
like right around there,
Like
2020.
the day before the lockdown.
Yeah. And we were just, it was crazy. It seemed like every city we played a couple days later, it was like, oh, first cases popped up here. Not
Right.
that,
And it
not
wasn't
that it
'cause
was
of
on
us.
us.
It
Not
wasn't
that it was
us.
on us, but we were kind of just like, it felt like we were kind of outrunning it and then got home.
Well, it sounds like good timing completing the tour.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
before
yeah,
everything sort of shut
It
down.
really was.
Yeah.
And
What
I
a-
don't know how none of us got sick. That's crazy.
That was something.
What a difficult time for artists.
Yeah.
You know,
That was crazy.
yeah, absolutely incredible. We had no idea what was going on. Everybody's trying to navigate through that thing, and it was just amazing. But now it seems like we're towards the we're out of it. Hopefully, if you will. Speaking of tours and shows, there's a festival in Salt Lake City coming up. It's the Love Letters Festival, which is cool.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I am unclear as far as what else you guys are going to be up to. Are we looking at a record release perhaps later this year, or a tour?
We're getting back into, we're kind of regrouping to go into album mode, and to just start writing new music as much as we can, as soon as we can.
I think for us, we really, really miss tour. And so we're working very hard on making something happen.
Yeah.
Can't give any timeline or details on that, but it's very much at the forefront of our mind. And we'd really like to do that with a body of work to also
Company.
accompany it.
Right. So right now it's just sort of singles being released and piecemeal. if-
Exactly.
if you will.
Which
This
is
is
something. So go ahead.
Yeah, this is like very much how we did it when we first started. Before any label attention, before anything, we were coming up in the era of blogs, and we were just sending singles to blogs all the time. So now we're kind of like, we like doing that. We love putting out new music, and we really love being able to give our fans something that they can attach to, especially in a period where we don't have tours to be accompanying. We're not playing live shows this year, other than like the festival looks. And yeah, we just really wanted to see if that single approach was still a viable option in the year 2024.
And it turns out for
Well, I mean,
us,
yeah.
it is, yeah.
We didn't really
Right.
have that option for a long time when we were doing the 3 major label records. You know, it's such a long process. You can't just like drip the songs out and get like the feedback from fans. So now that we
Right.
get the chance to do this more independently, it's like it's a lot of fun to just
Yeah.
kind of keep the train rolling.
Yeah, it works for a lot of artists. You know, it sounds like you were early adopters of that as well back in the
Yeah,
day.
we'll
Without
stand
even
on
like
that.
yeah, without even thinking about it, we kind of
Yeah.
were. It's just
Yeah.
like it was just what made sense to us.
Right.
And it was really just that we wrote a song. The next day we were like, everyone needs to hear this song. Let's put it out.
Yeah.
And then that all dies out when you get to a major label and they're like, actually, you wrote this song. What if we put it out in 2 years? Does that sound good? Should we do that instead?
Yeah.
No, that sucks.
And it feels good too, because we're kind of back to our roots. doing that.
Yeah,
You know,
a little nostalgic.
yeah. So it's kind of come full circle around, and you know, we're also ready to just keep the creativity flowing and put it into a body of work somehow.
Incredible. There is you guys did something online for a publication, I think, called Noise.
Oh yeah.
That performance is great.
Thank you.
And the interview was fun, and you guys are giving some great answers to some questions, and I encourage everybody to go find that online. Again, we're here with the band Flor, F-L-O-R, right here on 88.5 The SoCal Sound. Before we get into a Flor OG classic, let me ask you the Desert Island Disc question. Oof. I've never asked this question before.
I love it.
But I have no further questions prepared. So let's get into this then.
I like it.
If you were, stranded on a desert island, what's one record that you would like to accompany you?
Oh, this is such a bad answer, but could I say Eiffel 65's Europop?
that would feel so good.
It would feel so good.
Is that I'm Blue, Dabo?
Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, that was the first record I ever bought as a kid.
It was the first record I bought, and for some reason I've been gravitating back towards it recently.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
It's gonna be that, or it's gonna be. No, I'm sticking with that.
Stick to your guns.
Yep. I wanted to do a more interesting answer.
Well, because the problem with my answer is it's Transatlanticism by Death Cab for Cutie.
Yeah.
It's just so sad.
I know you're gonna be sad.
It's my favorite record of all time, but I also don't know if I want that to be the only record I could listen to.
You were saying you saw that show at the Hollywood Bowl,
Yeah,
right?
it was the Postal Service Death Cab combo one.
Incredible.
It was the best show I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Went there with my now wife, and we both just cried.
Well, that record's the definitive Death Cab record, and really good one.
Okay, my cool, interesting answer will be "Give Up" by the Postal Service. Then, how about that?
You can't.
I thought Eiffel 65 was pretty cool.
Yeah, you can't go back.
You're
now.
already stranded.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was thinking about the first CD I ever bought too, and this is a wild answer, but it was a compilation record of, I think it was volume 4 of a bunch of Solid State bands from Solid State Records.
Is that like a metal?
Yeah, it was like very metal. I bought it from a Christian Supply when I was like, God, I don't even remember how old I was. But I mean, that was like really kind of what got me into music, and specifically the drums. Because I was like, oh wait, those are crazy drums. What am I hearing? And then I was hooked.
Yeah.
So I'd maybe go back to my roots.
A compilation album for the Desert. That's actually, that feels like a cheat code.
Right?
Kind of, like,
Right? So then I get a little bit of everything.
Now that's what I call music number 34.
Wow, that actually works.
I was asked that question at a conference, like on a panel, like in front of everyone. I was like, oh. So I immediately said one of my favorite records, Television's Marquee Moon, but in retrospect, like one of my favorite records of all time, but do I want to listen to that all day, every day? Maybe not, actually.
Yeah.
So if I had to go back, I would like blow their minds and be like, oh yeah, Tupac's All Eyes on Me or something like that, yeah.
Like realistically, I would want to say like Radiohead's Kid A, but I know that I would lose interest in it eventually, and I don't ever want to lose interest in that. So I want Eiffel 65's Europop.
There you go.
And I can like dream about Radiohead out there all alone.
Sure.
Are there any artists today who are active contemporary artists that you admire? Who are just killing it?
I really like the band Coin a lot.
Really collectively love that.
Yeah.
I love them. I love Hippocampus a lot. I really like, I don't know if they're a band, but there's this Bay Area band called Sjogren. And they release music, but they don't play shows, and I don't think they exist online.
It's kind of hard to figure out what they are.
Yeah, I can't figure it out, but I really, really like what they're doing
Cool.
too.
Love that.
Those are my top 3 right now.
What about you guys?
I mean, yeah, same. Coin's gonna be a collective favorite of all of ours. Hippocamp, I'm not trying to copy yours, but
it's okay.
I've also been really enjoying From Indian Lakes. They put out a new record recently that's fantastic. I've been listening to a lot of that.
Cool.
I've been doing a lot of throwback stuff recently. Like,
you listen to the Hall & Oates records.
I've been doing Hall & Oates, like Lenny Kravitz, and like
Cool.
I listen to Frank Sinatra all the time in my house.
Classy.
Not that I love a lot of the new music coming out now, but I've just been having such a good time doing throwback stuff. Throwback radio is honestly what I listen to right now. It feels really inspiring and like kind of fresh again,
Right.
if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, love that. Where do you see the band in 10 years from now?
Ooh,
Oh my God, 10 years from now.
Arenas.
That's a scary thought.
man, it would be so cool to play arenas.
Hopefully we'll
Are we
be
allowed to just say that? Like, that's where I want to be in 10 years?
hopefully we'll be
Manifest it?
right back here.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, yeah,
Follow-up
right back
interview.
there. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
That's where we want to be.
Right here with you.
open
Yes.
door policy. You guys are welcome anytime.
Yeah.
You know?
We want to be playing your next Alex Theater.
Yeah, the Alex Theater in
Glendale.
Glendale. Shout out to
show.
them.
That's what we want to be doing in 10 years and just absolutely selling it out and blowing it out.
In 10 years, it'll be at SoFi Stadium.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do 3 nights at the Alex Theater.
Sounds good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly. Sting's doing that. Got the Wiltern and some
Yeah.
plays at the
That would
Wiltern.
be
That's
nuts.
amazing.
That'd
Yeah.
be crazy.
All right, we're going to get into some more music here. An OG song by Floor, Hold On, and then we'll wrap it all up with the song Nosedive, most likely. But guys, you're amazing, and it's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to
Thank you
meet
so
you.
much.
And we're happy to play your music on the radio.
We appreciate it.
We do.
More than we can
Yeah.
express.
Feels really good. Thank you.
And we're glad you're
does.
in Southern California now. And again, come through anytime, and we'll be following you, and we're certainly here to support you guys.
Awesome.
Love
Thank you.
that. Thank you so much for having us.
Yeah. Anything else to touch on before we get back into the music?
I got nothing.
I got nothing.
I got nothing. I think we covered it. We covered everything.
All right. This is Floor on the SoCal Sound.
You come to life when all the people on the street start to rise, and the sun it starts to open up our eyes. We can make this moment stay with us for a while. You can count on it. I'm where you left me. I can count on you to show me the way. We can keep it like we're going somewhere. I won't try to fight it. Don't be like it. In your skin, in your hair, I'm tangled up in my head, in my mind. I can't get out. Where did you stay? You turn, teach me to ride. I grab and hold on. I grab and hold on tight. You make it right. Every moment that we spend with our time, ain't it something that we manage on the line? It's on us now to keep around. Carmela, how are they? You can count on it. I'm where you left me. I can count on you to show me the way. We can keep it like we're going somewhere. I won't try to fight it. Don't be like it. In your skin, in your hair, I'm tangled up in my head, in my mind. I can't get out. When you just say you turn, teach me to ride. I grab and hold on. I grab and hold. You know that it's you, the reason that I come alive, come alive. It lives in your eyes, and you know that it's you, the reason that I come alive, come alive. And you know that it's you, the reason that I come alive, come alive. It lives in your eyes, and you know that it's you, the reason that I come alive, come alive. In your skin, in your hair, I'm tangled up in my head, in my mind. I can't get out. Where you just say you turn, teach me to ride. I grab and hold on. I grab and hold on. In your skin, in your hair, I'm tangled Most nights I'm feeling like I'm out of body. Storms are still not feeling on me. Tailspin, nosedive, falling to the ground. Everybody is watching me now. No ends out. Can't take your eyes off this disaster. How could I stand myself here after lying in my own mess, feeling so useless? You make me useless. There's no cure for this. I can't stand this side of me. I'm listening to my heart pound. Can I change the bet or lose it entirely? The rules were up against me from the start. I could take more, no, I can't really take more. I could change things, but you know it's the same. Riddled with doubt, I'd sit this one out if I could. God knows that I should, 'cause I can't keep my head on straight. When most nights I'm feeling like I'm out of body. Storms are bursting, I'm feeling on me. Tailspin, nosedive, falling to the ground. Everybody is watching me now. No ends out. Can't take your eyes off this disaster. How could I stand myself here after lying in my own mess, feeling so useless? You make me useless. Would you do me a favor and leave me right here laying out on the highway, covered in tears? I don't know what I need, but I need it alone. I don't know who I need, but I'm sick of this show. Just go. Just go. Most nights I'm feeling like I'm out of body. Storms are bursting, I'm feeling on me. Tailspin, nosedive, falling to the ground. Everybody is watching me now. No ends out. Can't take your eyes off this disaster. How could I see myself here after lying in my own mess, feeling so useless? You make me useless. Lost dive. Lost dive. Lost dive. Lost dive. Most nights I'm feeling like I'm out of body.